Welcome back once again to Excel Math Lessons with Mr. Bedley, and this is 4th grade Excel lesson number 71, recognizing parts of a circle. We're going to talk about the names, vocabulary that relate to a circle. And before we do that, I've got a little riddle for you today. What word in the English language is always spelled incorrectly? What word in the English language is always spelled incorrectly? Okay, let's get on with the lesson now, and read along with me, please. Make sure you're focused and paying attention so you can learn. The center of a circle, point A, here's the center of a circle, is the point that is an equal distance from any point on the circle. Points B, C, D, or E. Here's point D, point B, point C, point E. Those are all on the circle. So picture like this is out on the playground. That circle is painted on there, and there's a pole like a tetherball court right here. This, no matter where you stand on the edge, it's always the same distance to get to the pole. It's equidistant from every part that's on the circle. The distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circle is called the radius. All of these lines that I just drew here are called radii, or one of them is a radius. Plural of radius is not radiuses, it's radii. It's one of the few words in the English language that has two I's in a row. R-A-D-I-I. Very strange, huh? So I'm drawing a bunch of radii. It goes from the center out to the outside edge. The distance, examples are AC, AB, and AD. Let me get rid of all this mess here. So we've got oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's try that again. AB is a radius, AD, AC. Notice they all involve the letter A because a radius has to involve the center of the circle. A diameter is a straight line drawn from one side of the circle through the center to the other side. The diameter is twice as long as a radii, plural of radius. On this circle, the line from B through A to C is the diameter. Starts here, goes through A and over to C. It's called the diameter of the circle. If the radius of a circle is 3 inches long, how long is the diameter of the circle? So we're saying if from B to A is 3 inches, that's called a radius. How long would the diameter of that same circle be? Pause the video, show your work too of how you get the answer, and put the answer right there on the line. Okay, so you should have already done this. You should have written 3 times 2, or 3 plus 3, is equal to 6. I bet some of you just wrote 6 and you didn't write 6 inches. You have to put the unit of measurement that goes along with that 3. All right, the distance around a circle is the circumference. The circumference is approximately 3 times the length of the diameter. So the circumference is the distance all the way around the outside. It's kind of like the perimeter of the circle, only because it has no corners on it and there's no straight sides, we don't call it the perimeter. We call it the circumference of a circle. And the circumference of a circle is a little bit longer than 3 times the diameter. So picture this BC, and then we put that up here, and it would go like from here about around to there, and then another diameter would go about to there, and then another one would go from about there to there. If we could bend this diameter around the circle, it'd be about a little bit over 3 times as long as the diameter, and that is true of any circle. So the circle could be a little tiny one like that. You take the diameter, it's going to stretch 3 times around that circle about, or a big circle, or an even bigger circle, a circle that's like got a diameter of 100 feet across. It's still going to work. It's always going to be about 3 times the length of that diameter is the circumference. The points A, F, and G are inside the circle. That's pretty easy. A's inside the circle, F's inside, G's inside the circle. Point H and J are outside the circle. You might be asked questions about that. Now, let me warn you right now, been doing this for a long time, and what some kids tend to do that want to be a little bit lazier and get their work done fast without learning anything, they just use the check answer on questions about a circle to figure out what the right answer is. Well, that's not such a good idea. You need to understand the vocabulary. The purpose of the questions on your guided practice on your homework is to remind you or to have you look up any words that you don't know. So you want to Google those words. If it says what, like for example, they might have a picture like this, and they'll say, what is AD called? And then they have choices like radius, diameter, circumference, something like that. Well, don't just guess, don't just use the check answer, but really know that AD is called a radius. Or if they have, around the outside of the circle, what's that called? Okay, you got to know that that's called a circumference. The idea is to learn that vocabulary. All right, here is a circle, and I want you to identify one of each of these, and some of these might be points, and some of them might be line segments. When you put a point, you can just write A, and that's good enough. But if you're talking about a segment, you have to write AB with a segment sign over the top. You only need one answer, even though there might be more than one answer for each one of these right here. Go ahead and pause the video, do all of those, and then turn it back on when you're ready for the solution. Okay, radius. What are the possible solutions here? Your answer must contain the letter E. So look at your answer. If you do not have the letter E as part of your answer is wrong. Now, the other letter in the answer could be C, so you can put EC, because from E to C is a radius. You can have ED as a radius. You can have EH. Any of these are correct. Or you can have EG. All right? Any of these can be reversed, by the way. You could put C first and then E, D first and then EH first, and then E, or G first and then E. The center of the circle, only one correct answer there. E. E is at the center. The diameter, two possible answers. The diameter goes all the way across the circle through the middle, so you can write G, D, or DG, and then the other one goes up this way here, and so you can write HC or CH. A point on the circle, you should write one letter, and you can put either D, C, G, P, or H. D, C, G, P, or H. Any one of those letters is the correct answer. A point inside the circle, you have two choices for that. You can either put letter A or letter E. Just one letter, though. You don't put any segment sign. All right, we got some math facts for you to practice here. Pause the video, do all these math facts as fast as you can, and then turn it back on to check your solution. And here are the answers. Pause the video and check your work. Change any of the wrong answers to right answers. And then the answer to the riddle is, what word in the English language is always spelled incorrectly? The answer is incorrectly. INCORECTLY. Incorrect. Did I put two R's in there? It's supposed to be two R's. I might have spelled that incorrectly. I don't know.